Alrighty, guys, getting set up here, making sure it's all good right there. What's going on, you guys, on Facebook, IG, YouTube as well? I think first time actually streaming live, anyways. That is on YouTube. Oh, y'all, we are in the process of fully building some things out here, but I am really, really excited. And I got to admit, y'all, I'm gonna be a little bit fiery tonight, as if it's different than any other night. If you know me, if y'all been rocking with me, whether that's here online, whether Facebook, IG, first time to all my YouTube people, what's going on? But also as well at the place community, guys, really, really awesome. I think we've got the link up here yet. You can visit the place with tm.com for more info about our community, the 4K coaching course that's coming up, digital products, which have absolutely radicalized and changed my family's life, that anybody can start implementing and start learning about today, tonight, wherever you are in the nation, in the US, around the world. That is the one thing, guys, I gotta admit, I think the greatest thing, which is what it should be about, right? Social media is connection and community. It's really cool what we can use these little devices here to connect with people literally around the world and make new friendships, relationships, people you've never met. And yet you'll find, and we have found, me and my wife, that even with different backgrounds, races, religions, ethnicities, cultural differences, there's a commonality that's, yes, we are all human, but we're, a lot of us, most of us, are still striving and wanting the same things, you guys. Peace and prosperity for our families, growing, strengthening, nurturing our relationships, our friendships. We're wanting to live an abundant and a life filled with light, and it may look and be different for other people. Um, we're just finding it's really awesome, finding an awesome commonality with people, you guys, and that's what I'm wanting to build. Okay, so let me guys know where y'all are watching from in the comment section. I'll do the best that I can to make sure that I am responding back to each and every single one of your comments tonight. But we're gonna hop into it pretty quick. So let me guys know how your week's been going so far. Glad that you're with me. But let's go ahead and get this thing kicking and rocking. Okay, you guys. So I told you I was going to be a little bit fiery tonight. So buckle up, hold on to your seats. I apologize for nothing that I'm about to talk, that I'm about to say and talking about. And if you got some questions, if you even have some disagreements, listen, you want to know what the great thing about this is I don't ever hop on here wanting to ever pretend that I have all the answers or that even my opinions are necessarily always correct. That right there is one of the number one stumbling blocks immediately out of the gate for growth, is to pretend that you know it all. If we would have stayed in that lane, me and my family, we wouldn't be in the places that we're able to have the level of impact and income we have right now, because we know it all. We're not going to listen. You don't need to be the smartest person in the room. You need to have relationships where you're able to lean and inquire from other people that are farther down the road than you are and have different experiences than you have. Humility is a great asset. Let's tap into that tonight, but we're going to do it with some fire, okay, y'all? Let me know where y'all are watching from. Facebook, IG, YouTube, okay? Welcome again. Welcome to the place with TM. What we want to talk about tonight, you guys see the title of the live, is what's in our way? What's in your way? What are some of the stumbling blocks that keep us in life growing instead of just maintaining life, but really living a life that's elevating or reaching new heights or going to new places, whether that's in our relationships, in our mind, in our businesses, in our family? Because sometimes I find that life can be living us, and we stay stuck in patterns and routines and things till we realize we're just kind of going through the motions. Something happened to me, and I can't remember surely the date when it was, 6, 8 months ago, something like that. And I just feel like something within me, the light bulb just kind of, the switch kind of turned on. And I realized that life is truly, truly, genuinely precious. And I honestly, I think for me, I'm going to be 40 in about 2 years. And I just did a little bit of a fast forward and said, these are the areas of my life that when I hit 40, I still don't want to be at. One of them was my physical health, and I'm doing the best I can, you guys, in the gym 4 to 5 days a week, working on my diet, right? It's one thing to dream a dream, but it's another thing to put action and still faith in the dream, okay? Making it happen, whether it's with your body, whether it's with your mind, whether it's with the relationships, the friendships that you have. Some of us, I used to be one of those people. You know, you've needed to have a conversation with that one friend, that one family member for a long time that's been holding you back, or there just seems to be some friction and some confliction. You may need to have that conversation. And for some of y'all, you may even know the person that's in your head. You need to have that talk. It may be best for you to right now set the phone down or quit the live and go have that conversation, have the talk, then come back, okay? But we need to put some action and some steps, and even if they're bite-sized steps towards living a life to where it's no longer stuck, but we get unstuck and we're going at a pace that we're finally able to see progress. I truly believe there's nothing more tormenting than to live a life every day. And maybe some of you are putting forth the steps that to the best of the ability of what you know how, but you're just not seeing the progress. And I'm telling you, it can be so torturing. It can be so frustrating. And sometimes in life, and I'm actually finding most of the time, it's not a massive change that's needed. It's a small tweak. It's one little, even sometimes a pebble in the road that we consistently stumble over. A lot of times it's pebbles in our path, not the mountains in our road that we feel like we can't get past. Now, our fear and anxiety can elevate the pebble into a full-blown mountain. Again, which is why it is good to have connection and community, so you can have other people that maybe have been through those paths and say, oh no, I've been down that path. I know it seemed hard at first. Hey, here's what I did, blah, blah, blah. And again, you may see another angle that you never even looked at, you never thought was possible, but you took the time to humble yourself, listen, create connections and relationships. You guys, I'm telling you, if you continue to live life the way you're living it now, it's going to be the same in 10 years, in 5 years. You have to ask yourself, and we're going to break some things down tonight, how even being content, and I believe we've skewed that, especially within the church, especially within Christendom. We've skewed being content. And what we really meant is it's a cover up for our laziness or our inability to grow in the areas we need to grow. And we shroud it with saying, oh, I'm just content. I'm good with what God's given me. I am telling you, because he told me and I've seen it, there is more for your life than what you are currently attaining right now. I mean, blow your mind. More, bigger, brighter, bolder. You know what? It's crazy. Okay, so this is real quick, funny story. How many of y'all, I don't know about y'all, but I grew up in the part of Christendom that it was, you do not watch Harry Potter, okay? It's of the devil, it's demonic, you guys, all the stuff. Now what we were perfectly fine with watching all the action movies of slaughtering and murdering and cussing, and we would people would just hide your eyes during the sexual scenes, but those are good. But no, the Harry Potter, oh, ban him, light him on fire. Crazy. But it was so funny. I remember my wife the first time, I think it was in our second year of marriage. We were like, all right, we're out of Bible college, man. We're free. Woo! We're gonna go crazy and watch Harry Potter. Oh, we're living on the edge now, my friends. Dear Lord Jesus, it was with us, man. Grace upon grace. Holy mess. But it was so funny. I remember watching those movies, and I remember after going through a couple of them, it frustrated me to no end. That here lies, right, Harry Potter and just the wizards in general, right, with all of this potential, right? He's got this prophecy thing pretty much kind of over him, this ability. Everyone's talking about the magic hat. These people, you're Harry Potter, Potter. You got to get the P right when you say Potter. Come on, if y'all Harry Potter people, you Potter. You got to spit over everybody. It's fantastic. And so many times I found myself getting frustrated, like every time they would get in situations where like, all right, man, here's the time to use that spell you've been using. Blast them with some fire, freeze them with ice, send a tornado on them. You've got all of the capacity and the ability within the books, within the teaching and everything you're learning. And every time they got up right to the point, who they have to rely on. Hermione was the only one in the books, and she knew all the spells. And I always got so frustrated with Mallory. She's like, dude, it's just a movie. Calm down. But I'm like, if I had the capacity, if I had that power within my grasp to know all those spells, I told her, like, bro, there wouldn't be a spell I wouldn't know. And I probably would have been Slytherin, yo. I'm being dead honest. I would have been, dude, freezing dudes for fun. I would have been like doing just crazy stuff if I had that potential at my fingertips. And what I want to just simply use that to tell you, not in a means of witchcraft or sorcery or control, but we have the highest book. You're a Christian. We have the highest wisdom. We have the highest authority in being sons and daughter of the kingdom. And I'm telling you, most of us barely and rarely tap into the availability that the kingdom of God is saying. The Father, Jesus said, it's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And what is the kingdom? Everything he owns in his domain. What does he own? Everything. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and all of those that dwell therein, evil or unevel, sacred or secular. And we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to stop compartmentalizing our lives and our boxes, because we're praying for things that, because of the compartmentalization of our lives, it's actually blocking the favor of God, the blessing of God, the wisdom even of God, because we've compartmentalized him and sectioned him out and said, no, this is sacred stuff that I do in my I'm an earthly person when I clock in. I'm back to a sacred person when I go to church or when I'm reading my Bible. No. You are a walking temple of the Lord. Meditate, think on that, okay? What's in our way? Stumbling blocks. Guys, I want to talk quickly tonight. 12 minutes in. Give me about another 15 minutes. We'll be under 30 minutes. Here we go. 5 things tonight. What are some stumbling blocks? Some things that I feel like I have seen keep people from going after the life that they know that they want, but they don't think that they can have, for a lot of different reasons. Again, the life that you know that you want, but you don't think, for whatever reason, you think that you can have. Or that you think that one day you're just going to wake up and it's going to stumble upon you. Even in God's grace and in his ultimate wisdom, he's just going to do it one day. And while I do believe there is his actions and his things that only God himself can do, right? There are steps, and there is a seeking, and there is a harmony, a dance that God wants us to learn with him. As we're walking with him and we understand his ways, we can get his works in our life. I was watching recently a couple of YouTube videos, and I was taking a look. It was Christians, and some were pastors. Different ones were pastors. Some were Christian entrepreneurs. Some were Christian businessmen. And there were just different titles, but it was all in the realm of Christians teaching people about money and what the word really says about prosperity. And the moment we say that word, we just gets a bad rap. And so therefore, the obvious other thing that we must do is be poor, just to keep clear that I'm not about money. Just want everyone to know, check my bank account, just enough for, you know what, we actually didn't even pay our light bill, so we're extra holy and we're broke, and so, right, and, you know, everything. And it's, guys, it's gotten so jacked up when we laugh at this stuff, but I am telling y'all, it's real, and it is settled within either our conscious or our subconscious. And because we have allowed it in, it's like the little foxes that are spoiling the vine of our life. And have settled and are settling for a lesser realm of impact and the capacity that we can have to truly see the culture shift and transform, for that his will may be done on earth as it is, okay, in heaven. And I'm watching these videos. And y'all know one of the funniest parts, especially, like, I'm a Gordon Ramsay fan, y'all. The best part, if you don't even watch a couple of his videos, immediately what do? You go to the comment section. You guys, that's where the fire is. The fire's in the comment section. It's absolutely hilarious. But I found myself going to the comment section. You don't need but 10 seconds in the comment section of Christian YouTubes when it talks about anything about money, wealth, breaking generational like poverty and curses, things off your life that are real, that are just passed down to you a lot of times by mindsets. They actually can be realms of demonic forces, but they're only inhabiting the lack of light, the lack of truth, which is darkness, which is just an absence of light. The things we don't know are hindering the things we could grow in. And it took me 10 seconds, and y'all, I was just flabbergasted, like enraged in the comment section. It here are these people pouring, they've got the fruit to back it up. They're having businesses for the right reasons, right? For all we know. They got the fruit for that. They're showing the growth. They're letting you know how you can get out of debt. They're letting you know how you can stop working a 9 to 5, a soul-sucking job that you're absolutely hating your life, but you've just succumbed to, well, this is it. There's nothing else. And it's like I see the Lord during this time. It's like he's throwing the rope out and calling out and saying, there's a better plan. There's another way. You could be creating passive income. Yes, you. It's 2024. It's no longer 1994. Oh, which is psycho that was 30 years ago. Yo, we all just felt old in that one if you were born before that time. Keep going, brother, sister. Keep going. I'm telling you guys, it's wild though. And I'm just seeing these comment sections and I'm like, no wonder the world in this arena, I think a lot of times mocks Christianity and is like, we do so much. We have a lot of faith in the church, but y'all, when it gets into the real world, it just like gets crippled and it dies. Our impact is, I still believe at large, being kept within 4 walls because we don't understand the meaning of sacred and secular. And when you begin to understand as a Christian that everything you can put your hands to is sacred, and we stop compartmentalizing the hand of God in our lives and saying, you're able to have me over here, but in this section, this is mine, my family, this and that. We'll be able to begin to see breakthrough like never before, guys. And we are living it, and we're beginning to see it in many ways. But one of the greatest ways we're beginning to see the link, and actually one of the most spiritual things that you could do. Now, I don't believe that everybody's called to. One of the most spiritual things you could do, I'll say this, is creating and building and having a business, because businesses literally are meant to serve community. A business, the original intent, especially the godly intent, but whatever you are providing a service. You're providing a product or a service. You're providing that to a person, to a family, to a community, to a state, to a nation, to the globe, however big it goes, right? It's one of the most spiritual things you can do. Now, I do not believe that every person's meant to literally be a business owner, but I do believe that you are created by a creator to create. You have creative DNA within you, and that may look different for everybody. You'll never be able to tap into what's in you. Sometimes that's what revelation does. The awakening of knowledge and truth does, is you tap into things that you aren't now all of a sudden have access to. You've had access to it the entire time, but you just weren't aware of it. You didn't know. Which is, that's the power of, we're talking about preaching the gospel, proclaiming the word, proclaiming the truth, right? You could preach many different things. Preaching is just proclaiming. You're telling. You're exhorting. You're speaking with courage and conviction a message. And I got a message tonight. And the people on the YouTube had a message. And while I'm amening it and saying, "Oh my gosh, yeah, that makes so much sense. Yeah, you do this, you do that. Wow, this is life changing." I go to the comments and it's just like, y'all, ignorance is killing us. Wrong doctrine, and illegitimate theology is killing us. It's killing us. But because we have said that because money, right? Because money it's worldly, we say, right? You just don't seek it. You don't worry about it. You don't worry about it. You don't seek it. You don't find ways to make it. You just trust the Lord. If he does it, he does it awesome. If he doesn't, he does it awesome. And that's very scary. One, because I think if you think that way in that area of life, you're probably thinking that way with your health, your relationships. If it happens, it happens. It does. If it does, it doesn't. Now, I'm not, when not knowing that prayer is meant to actually be partitioning and partnering with the Lord about the things that you care about, which I promise you care about money. We're too holy to seem to ever want to talk about it, as if it's not a thing that marriage is constantly fuss about. It's not a thing that even churches are constantly trying to raise, because there's works that are needing to be done in our communities, in other states, in nations that are going to take, yes, faith, but money, the thing that we are afraid to talk about because we've ordained it evil when it is an immaterial object. I'm just gonna go ahead and got it. I'm gonna skip down to this part right here. Okay, skip down to this part right here. Where's it at? Where we at? Okay, here he is. Y'all, this was crazy. The YouTube comments had me like raging. I was like, Mallory was like, oh my god, I've never seen, like, I was so frustrated. But I'm so impassioned to see I'm so impassioned to see the church. I'm so impassioned to see, invigorated, if you will, to see Christians stop thinking that being broke means you're holy, and that being rich somehow means you're evil, and that all you care about is money. No, we are masters of the church of swinging from one side of the pendulum to the other, because God forbid there's somewhere a truth in the middle of the tension. And I'm telling you, there is. What if I told you that tomorrow you could wake up as a believer or a non-believer? But I'm strictly kind of filtering these things for my Christian people. Yo, we got to get this right. What if I tell you that you could wake up tomorrow and have passive income coming into your bank account that you did work for 5-6 months ago, that you're waking up to $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 already made in your bank? Here's the issue. We've got to deal with identity. I don't think a lot of times we truly believe. We know that the Lord cares, and we say that he's good, but I think we only attribute that to, yes, which is the greatest thing of all time and the foundation of our existence. Yes, salvation coming and extending through his son, Jesus, dying, resurrecting for us. Thank God I would not be here if it was not for that. But I am telling you, salvation and him being alive in you means more than just your ticket and your entrance through the pearly gates called heaven. I'm telling you, there is a work and a word for you to still do on the earth. And if you're going to have not just the eternal impact, but the impact, guys, in the here and now. We in the church love to talk about, oh, the day it's going to come, what a joyful day it'll be when I pass on yonder. And we just neglect all the work and the things that could be done right now if we opened our minds and opened our hearts and started unlearning some things and start realizing that money is immaterial. It is not evil. It's the matter of the heart. It's the matter of the heart. Because the moment money comes out of the mouth, we immediately go to the subconscious and we either think one of two things, specifically when it comes to a Christian. And yes, I'm sorry that we have seen so many pastors and so many people get it wrong, and some only wanted the money. Listen, like, if they didn't apologize, okay, I apologize for that. But how long are we going to hold on to those instances that we're holding towards them as actually holding us back? I'm going to say that again. The bitterness and the frustration that we have, which is rightful, towards pastors, preachers, or not that, Christians, businessmen, anybody out there that's selling something, that's doing a good work on the outside, but we found out they only wanted the money. That did not make money evil. We've got to start attributing it to the heart and not to the means, not to the job. There's a lot of great things that are being done. Well, I have electricity on in my house right now. provided to you and paid for with this thing called cash, with this thing called money. You were able to pay to be able to pay for your kids' school with money, the clothes that you're wearing, your kids are wearing with money, the food that was put on your table with money. It is a necessity. So when it all changed for me and my family, when I started looking at it as immaterial, that I'm not just going to so succumb to the darkness, that I have more money in my bank account than just paying the bills and for food. Oh my gosh, I'm just going to immediately hit the streets with it and start something like that. Guys, I think the light in us is a little bit stronger. And again, all of this stuff gets rooted back to identity, okay? So I apologize for the people who did it wrong. But when we start seeing money again as something that's immaterial, it's not evil, okay? And understanding that money mobilizes the mission, the dream that's in your heart. It's simply a tool. That's why they call it currency. You guys, it's like a river. It gets things from one, it's an exchange of value. You today have been a part of an offer and a sale, whether you subconsciously knew it or not. The house that you're currently in was an offer made to you by a rental or a landlording lease company, or you own it, you agreed upon it with the price, and you're living in it. The food that you ate tonight, the grocery store, the makers, whoever, the restaurant you ate at, the fast food place offered you and said, you can have it for this price. And you agreed upon it. Every single day you are in transactions. So again, we got to get this out of our mind. For those of you that you don't want to be in sales, you're in sales whether you want to be in sales or not. Wouldn't it be good for you who have good hearts, full of integrity and character, to be on the opposite side of receiving that as well? Creating a product, having a business, having a side hustle, something to where you're able to impact families. And yes, with full confidence and humility at all, being able to impact your kids back at home, and you being able to take that little mini trip, mini dream vacation that you've been wanting to, but every time you have to keep putting it off and keep putting it off and keep putting it off, keep putting it off. But the Lord loves me and I'm being holy. You guys, we're going to get this right. Okay. It's not going to make you evil. I'm going to say it. This does not mean, like in anything in life, if you y'all, if you're walking with the Lord, y'all, if you're truly walking with him, okay, he'll correct you at times when you if you're starting to get a little bit sidetracked. This is why I always talking about, again, connection and community as well. You need to have the relationships and the people in your life that say, hey man, I think you're getting a little sidetracked. Because y'all, that happens. That that happens. So I'm not saying that we're not able to be tempted by it, by any of that. But the answer is to not hide our heads within the sands like an ostrich, stay in the corner because we're so afraid that we may fall, that we don't ever attempt to do anything ever of grandeur that can impact communities, that can impact nations. I meant, I again, you're created by a creator to be a creator, and you were created by a creator, which is naturally and intrinsically a dreamer, one who has imagination and colorist thoughts. You're meant to be a dreamer, and you were meant to see the dreams come to pass in your life. 5 things, here we go. 5 stumbling blocks. 5 things that are in our way from the life that we see, and that some of us are even out of false humility, afraid to tell others that we want because we think that's not being content. We're going to smash that tonight, okay? And every live that we come on here, I think at some point that's my message. We've got to eradicate the false humility, and in true humility, giving thanks to the Lord, say, I want every single thing that you have for me. Why? Because watch this. Being content, skipping forward a little bit, being content is, it's not just about having you and your family taken care of. God wants you to be an impact to nations. So it's going to take a little bit more than just the money enough, or even the faith enough that God, I'm good enough with what I have. I've got a shirt on my back, and yes, I'm thankful for all of it. Gratitude reciprocates. Like y'all, I know the principles. I understand that. But while I say I'm thank you, I'm also thanking him for more. Because guys, we have been able to give to families like never before. But watch this. That dream was always in my heart since I was 9 years old. I've always, I would get things. My mom and dad would give me stuff for Christmas, and they would get so mad at me because I would be giving it away to my friends who didn't have as much. And I didn't have much growing up. But they would find myself, they were getting frustrated at me because I just always wanted to give. What? How powerful is it to be able to give and just immediately see the smile that comes upon a face, the tears that come in someone's eyes when they tell you, man, you don't know how timely that gift was. What would it feel like to have so much, to have more than enough, that at your whim you could pray, God, who do you want me to bless today? Is there anybody you're wanting me to give to today? What church, what business, what family, what person on the street? Who can I impact today? With, yes, laying on of hands and faith and a prayer and food and buying them something. But how powerful, guys, how alive and more, a little bit more tangible would the gospel become? I'm telling you, there's more. There's more. We can't be like Harry Potter and them, y'all, in the beginning. Dude didn't look up. He had the whole book of spells and has all the power in the world. And when the time came, I don't want us being like that when the time comes. If we have somebody in need, oh well, I would, but I don't have it. And what you don't not have the means because of God's sovereignty. We've got to stop throwing away all responsibility and blaming it on God's sovereignty. I can't tell you how many times I did that for years. Well, if it's God's will, I'd have it. It is his will for you to have it. It is his will. But watch this. There are some things that even God can't do. God can do all things. No, he can't. He can't make you read his word. He can't force you to learn. He can't force you to get out of your comfort zone. Like, he can nudge you and he can try to lead you and he can knock on the door of your heart and he can send people, which I believe he's trying to do right now. But you can keep on swiping up and binging on Netflix for the next 5 years of your life and stay right exactly where you're at. Because I've been there, guys. I did that. But I'm so glad that the Lord finally, sadly, out of the desperation of our environment got so drastic that we realized something had to change. I don't want your life, and that's sadly how God has to get a hold of us so many times, is it not? That we always wait for our health to get so bad, and then, okay, we go to the hospital, then we'll start to eat healthy. Yeah, but you almost died, bro. Like, health is not a destination. Health is a lifestyle. I'm going to say this. Prosperity is not a destination. It's a lifestyle encompassing everything. Because I can promise you, the same way that we'll ascertain that, we'll place prosperity in its terms and its ideals and money. I can guarantee you're placing it in spiritual things. Do you know that there are more spiritual gifts that it talks about in Corinthians? Desire, ask. You have not because you ask not. I'm saying it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, and he owns it all. The cattle 1,000, y'all. It may be in the bank accounts of, yes, of whoever. It's all God's. Trust me. It's all God's. It's all his. It's all his. We have not because we ask not, and we usually don't ask because we don't think we can ask for that, because that's evil. We're going to change that tonight. Here it is. Let me say this before I get into the 5 things. I told y'all, like, on fire tonight. Like, y'all, I'm tired of seeing it happen, because I'm now seeing the fruit of it on the other side, and my lifestyle and my mindset being so radically shifted and changed, that in prayer, I was praying the other time, and I just felt the Holy Spirit say to me personally, your ceiling is now the floor. Because revelation and understanding and wisdom and knowledge, that's what's keeping you. And your inability to want to want to seek it out or not. We gotta be like Proverbs. Solomon said, "Seek if you seek it out as wisdom, as treasure, as gold. If you seek out his wisdom, he'll give it to you." When I realized wealth wasn't avoiding me and that I was actually avoiding it, either consciously or subconsciously, that's when everything changed. Listen, money isn't just for bills and food on your table. Very important, yes, but it does not stop there. What if you could help others? Is our contentment in Christianity crippling our witness and our ability to build the kingdom? Yes. And to establish and to see the fullness of his will being done? Or are we just going to continue to blame it on God's sovereignty and say it must not be his time yet? No. No. He's filled you for a reason, not just for the deposit. Yes, the inheritance, the guarantee. We are his possession, that we're going to go to heaven one day and that we've passed the test. No, 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 no. He's filled you so you can pour that out upon others. He's gifted you so you could see the impact upon others. He's given you hands and a brain and legs. He's whatever he's blessed you with. Whoever has, we've heard this old saying, whoever has the ability has the responsibility, okay? First one, what's in our way? What's blocking us? Lies. Find the truth. First one is lies. We've heard it said like this: a lie told often enough becomes the truth. Money is not evil. Being rich is not evil. Seeking ways to make money and to make more money is not evil. Making money your idol, wrong, right? It being all about the money and building up wealth and you trusting in it as security, wrong, okay? I'll say this: if you're saved, that's still not going to send you to hell. That's another wider topic for another time, okay? His blood was enough. Was enough. A lie told often enough becomes the truth. Because immediately what happens in our minds, and I'm looking at these comments and I'm seeing stuff like, well, no, just seek ye first the kingdom of God, brother, and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. He's talking about clothing. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about, yeah, guys, what Jesus was saying, and he's talking about to the Pharisees and the other people and to the Gentiles, they seek those things. Like they're so anxious over those things, again, that they don't realize what he said later. It's the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That's why he's saying, if you seek me first, if you put me first and his righteousness, seeking the kingdom of God, which is everything he owns, his ways, his principles, and his righteousness, these things shall be added to you. I've yet to see one man just try to apply that alone and not have to get up and go to a job and just believe that his bills are going to be paid without having to work or put forth any effort into a business or a job of some sort where you are trading your gifts, your time, you're doing something to create an asset, a stream of income into your life. Guys, that's not what Jesus meant. He's not saying don't seek the money. That money stuff is evil and it'll cause you to go astray. Just seek me and I'm going to throw down money from heaven. No, he won't throw down money. What he will give you is an idea that will create and generate the wealth. He gives you the power to create wealth. You are created by a creator to create. First stumbling block, what's in our way? We have believed that it's the evil, worldly people, they're the rich, those rich people. All they want is the money. And God, can I say this as well? I mean, this may throw some of y'all off. There's a lot of people that aren't saved, that are multimillionaires and billionaires, that actually still aren't in it for the money. They just may not know the Lord yet. Can we just stop blanketing like all those people as heathens? Y'all, I've met nicer atheists than I've met pastors. It's getting quiet in here. Yeah. Don't let the titles fool y'all. Okay. I think we gotta get back to taking it case by case and instance by instance and letting the fruit of a person speak for themselves. Okay. All right. Money's not going to taint you. And I just feel that someone's going to be watching this either right now, or someone's going to be watching this later, and you're going to get that line, that weight off of you. You have had, I feel this for somebody, you've had a dream in your heart. You have had many ideas, actually. One, you haven't known how to put it all together, and you feel sometimes the weight of shame and all that stuff. It's just going to come off of you. It's just going to come off of you. You just need to know that affirmed that is the Lord, and that he's really wanting to do something significant in you. So let that be for you, whoever that was, let that be for you. But lies, you guys, A lie told often enough becomes the truth. And sadly, a lot of times we have been consciously or subconsciously taught this within the church. That all those things are worldly. Give me Jesus. And I love that song. You can have all this world. Give me Jesus. Yes, yes, yes. Give me Jesus, but give me also what Jesus is standing for or what he wants us to do. If you just want Jesus, it's yes, it's the person, his presence, but it's also the people he died for, right? We're meant to be ambassadors, witnesses, evangelicals, evangelism in the earth. Okay. Yes, faith. But I'm telling you, you could do more if you had more. And I'm just simply at the point that I opened up and again stopped compartmentalizing work and calling that, and we'll get to that in a little bit, secular. It's all sacred, baby. You are a walking temple. Whatever you put your hands to can become holy. You're walking with him and the Lord. You are literally, Jesus, you said that you are literally now the light in the world. Let's light it up, okay? Number one is lies. Second one is excuses. You guys, excuses. There's never going to be a right time. There's never going to be a right time. The excuses that you're using why you can't are the same reasons that others are using for why they do. The excuses that sometimes we use why we can't are the same reasons that others are using currently for why they are actually doing it. I can't because I don't have enough time. And others are saying, you know what? I realize I have to buy back my time and invest my time. And the only way that I'm going to get back my time is doing something different with my time. Was that too many times for y'all? Did we just get dizzy with that? Because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I'm telling y'all, the alarm just went off on my head, and I said, like, okay, I'm creeping up on 38. I'm waiting on some promises of the Lord there are some that I believe that, yes, are in his time, but there were some things he just finally knocked on me and says, I'm waiting on you. You're believing some things about me and about my ways in the kingdom that are wrong, that are hindering what I'm actually trying to answer your prayer. But he goes through the limitations of our belief or unbelief and misunderstandings. God's not going to give us something that we have already proclaimed as evil. He, he's he's not going to do that. So the second thing, again, that keeps you guys' excuses. Listen, there's never going to be a right time. Again, the excuses that sometimes we use why we can't are the same reasons that others use for why they're doing it. And I kept on making the excuses because if anybody had them, you guys, if y'all know our story, we had them. 5 kids doing multiple jobs. I don't have time. I see that, yeah, this online thing making money, and I'm always so tired and blah, 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 blah. But when you get to the point that you're tired of being tired, there comes a pressing point, guys, where you just do it. You just do it. And you begin to find a second and a third gear that you didn't even knew, a strength that was within you the whole time that you didn't know you could. You didn't know that you had until push came to shove. Excuses. There's never going to be a right time to start the business. The right time is always now. I shared a post recently. He's talking about in Ecclesiastes that the farmer who looks and waits for every cloud to not be there until he sows is never going to reap the harvest. If you're waiting for perfect weather, you guys, there's never going to be the perfect time. The problem is fear. You just got to jump. It was like learning how to swim. Sooner or later, you just got to jump in the pool. You just got to do it. Quit tiptoeing around with it, and you just make the jump. Third thing, one of the third things I see that get in our way for the life that we dream, that we know that we want to have, but we don't feel like how we can get to it. One of the third things is arrogance, pride. Because anybody starting out in something new is what? Always the newbie. And we don't like that, right? You ever been like transferred, like been a new kid at a school or something, or you're the new guy and you walk in and everyone looks at you and they all know you're new and you know you're new. It's like being a freshman again all over in high school or in college, right? And you got to go through maybe the weird hazing stuff or, you're the new guy. You're the new guy at the job and you're being, trained. You're like, please, who am I trained? I'm better than all these people. Our arrogance and our pride keeps us from living a life, living another existence that you think is good. Y'all, I'm telling you, it's so wild being on the other side of my unbelief. And I'm not just talking about what's financially changed. I'm telling y'all, it all starts with mindset. There's a lot of people that got millions of dollars in the account but are broke internally. I need y'all to hear me on that. Don't get this twisted. You ain't gonna find that person to be me again. So I'm gonna come. I'm gonna show up here every day. As much as my schedule and what I'm building out loud, when I do show up, let's say it that way, unashamedly gonna talk about it all because it all matters. It all matters with our impact. It all matters within your family, and it all matters to God, and it all matters to you. It's the things that we talk about. It's the things. It's the dream vacations that we or we're only able to dream about at night that we're now actually being able to get to plan because our mindset shifted and changed, and I stopped going with the way that everyone else was thinking, and I let curiosity have its day, and said, why do I believe such and such? And I've been have I ever done the research on my own? Guys, it's an amazing thing to do research on your own and to not just take every word or every voice or every message that comes to you and just to proclaim that as truth. So I encourage y'all, man. I encourage you guys, do the research. Arrogance, man, pride. Nobody likes being the new guy. Nobody likes learning something new. Most of us hated school so much because one, it's I don't have time to go down that path, but we don't feel like we got taught enough out of it. And it didn't really help us and made us a more a slave to the system and work a 9 to 5 and you'll be good for the rest of your life. And there's security in it, guys. I've talked to multiple people within the last weeks, friends and family, and other people that have lost their jobs, and we're finding out again there is no such thing as really in today's economy anymore as a secure job, or again security and money. The only security there is chasing your passions, the God-given thing that you could talk about 24/7 that you feel like you have to neglect for a paycheck because you got to go to your 9 to 5 and this is the way it is. I'm telling you, it doesn't have to be that way. And that needs to strike a chord with you. That thought right there needs to haunt you, y'all, like it haunted us. And to the point to we start putting action in places and saying, okay, have I just settled for this to be my reality? When you can actually create and bend your reality by your faith and your belief. Because Jesus said, to him who believes, all things are possible, meaning all bets are on the table. It's all possible now. To him who believes. To him who believes, all things are possible. Humility grants us access to doors that one, we never knew were there, and that two, were locked because of our arrogance. Because if you say you know, you have already set a self-limiting cap to increase in any area of your life, physically, mentally. Lies, excuses, are arrogance. Fourth thing that I believe that are stumbling blocks. What's in our way, guys? And this is going to be a little bit different right here. Watch this. And I've talked about this on a video. Our routine. If we continue to do the same thing, you're going to get the same results. And you may think that you've got pretty good results. That's that thing of contentment that's keeping you. You've been told that having more is evil. Is getting smarter, is gaining mental awareness evil? Is increasing your physical health evil? Is loving more evil? Is giving more evil? Is doing more evil? You have to have something to pull, to draw from, to be able to do anything, to give more of. You have to have had something. You can't give of an empty bank account physically, right? Or you go negative physically or spiritually. And some of y'all have been running on E for a really long time in every area of life. We lived that. We lived that for years and did it. Not being able to barely pay the bills, the gas light always being on empty, barely being able to pay our any bills, any of the kids' food, like wearing the same T-shirts for 5, 6, 7 years that I've worn for like, and settling. I'm content and I still love the Lord, and he still showed up, and I would still feel his presence, and all of that was good. And I thought, I'm just waiting on him to change it one day. When he was waiting on my mind to be renewed, he kept, y'all, he was trying to get me in back in 2000, I think 11 and 12, into affiliate marketing. Years later, come back around to it multiple different times, and I kept on pushing it away. I kept on putting it away. I kept on putting it away. And I finally found out within me that God on purpose was allowing my life to be miserable. And he said, you're going to go from job to job, and you think a different culture or a different title or a different pay scale or a different type of work is going to fix it. And I'm going to keep, it's going to keep on gnawing on you. And for some of you, because you can't feel content, God didn't allow you to be content, because there's something different that he has for you, and you know it. You just don't know what to step into that. And most of the times, I'm going to let you know what that is in some form or one way or another. You were born to be a creator. You were born to be an entrepreneur. You were born to be an entrepreneur, an artist, an artiste, book writer, singer, to create something, to be your own businessman or woman. Sometimes it's our routine that's our blockade. We keep doing the same things. We're going to keep getting the same results. Sometimes we need to try a new path. Sometimes we need to challenge our thoughts. I told you guys I've been working out, and I've been really getting into it now. I think it's been about a month and a half. I don't know, about 4 days a week at the average, 4 or 5 days a week. Doing all the things with my diet, all the stuff. And if you guys probably know this principle, but this is crazy. So talks about what do you do when you shock a muscle? How do you sometimes people, you go into the gym and you may feel this way in life. I'm doing the things, Taylor. I'm going 3 or 4 days a week. I'm doing all the right things. I'm saying all the right prayers. I'm trying to love people as much as I can. I'm doing all the stuff, but why do I feel like my life is just plateaued? Like I can't push through this invisible wall. And what they call it in the gym world, in physical, is called shocking a muscle. And what that means is to provide enough stimulus to the muscle so it, watch this, on purpose fails or burns out doing an exercise. By working a muscle to the point of failure, you break down the fibers within the muscle. Watch this, forcing it to grow back stronger. Many times in life, we stay in our routine because we are terrified what would happen if we were to ever break it. Our routine has become our confidence. Our routine has become our refuge. And we really say that we're walking by faith and that we're trusting in God. But I let God challenge that. If He were to tell you to go left, if we were to tell you to leave that job that you've been at for 5 or 10 years, would you literally be able to do it? That you've worked so hard to step your way up the corporate ladder, and you've done it all the right ways and all the right things. But if God told you to drop that, I've got something else for you. I want to let y'all know, by the way, as well, God still works that way. That walking by faith isn't just us opening the two doors into the steeple and going into a church and doing our prayers and saying hallelujah, never talking to him again for another 6 days. No, that's American Christianity. Okay, that's y'all. That's not walking by faith. God didn't change his ways and say you can have it a lesser way. And all the patriarchs and that my people in the church before you in Acts, they got persecuted and they really learned to walk by faith, and they sold everything they had so that none would be without. But I understand that you live in America and it's 2024, and I get the financial thing, and it's just as if God were to be afraid and he cowards down to the ways of the culture. That's not, no, that's not how this works. He has an adventure waiting upon you, but many times our routine has become our refuge. And again, this was so crazy. It's why they call it shocking the muscles. You literally exhaust your muscles to a point of failure. So that says that they are forced to grow back stronger. Michael Jordan said it this way. He said, I can't remember. He said, I don't know how many shots. He's like, the point was, you're not winning if you're not failing correctly, if you're not failing. We're so afraid to fall or to fail. And that's why many people never win. You're never going to see the life that you want to live. You're going to continue to watch the movies and it's going to inspire you. You're going to continue to read the books, but your life could be the movie, and you could be the author of your own book of your life, and you could be writing it down with the Lord if we're willing to break out of our routines and stop doing the same things every day, and we break open the box of our lives and say, God, you can have any compartment of my life you wish. You can have my mind. mind. You can have my relationships. You can have my business, my finances, my family, my mental health, my physical health. The moment you start doing that is you become a man or a woman that God can entrust to be able to give to you whatever he's wanting to do for you and through you. Sometimes he has to get through our routine. Sometimes he's got to get through our routine. Sometimes we're too predictable. That's why we're not growing. I think we need to shock our mental muscles. I think we need to shock our mental, our what we think we know. That's why our life has stayed stagnant. And remember, I said this: ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is a miss. The things we don't know right now are killing us and are hindering the things that we could be apprehending and walking in. Last thing, guys, is negativity. Negativity. Y'all know that person that no matter what they start, no matter what they say to do, going out there, like they can only ever think of the negative thing that may happen. Now you want to be too careful. You want to use common sense. I don't know if I'd open up that new business. I don't know if I'd do that. Just play it safe. Stay within the job. That's secure. I think we all know by now, right? That you could be dropped in a moment in any job. Your desk is gonna be clean. They're gonna forget your name. Right. And again, it's not that all places are bad. I know a lot of places, not all jobs and business that have fantastic culture, and there's some people that are actually meant to be there. But it's the people. It's when we're putting our confidence in the structure and systems that say that it always has to be done this way. Rarely listen to anybody, specifically within business or life, say, no, it's always got to be this way. You do it this way. There could possibly be no other way. There could possibly be no other way, okay? And they only ever look at the things that could go wrong. And listen, we're out in the cabin. I'm gonna end with this. We're out in the cabin. Uh, man, it may have been almost a year ago now. And it's dark, and I hear this, and I'm staring out in the porch. It's real beautiful, but it's in the woods and it's dark, and I'm looking through the trees, and I hear something crack like a twig, and I'm like, something's walking. I'm like, I start laughing. I'm like, hey, bro, don't come at me. But then I'm like, I hear it again. I'm like, okay, my God, what really is that? And I'm like starting to get like kind of nervous now. And I just felt the Holy Spirit say this to me. Fear, this is what fear is. Fear is just faith in the wrong mystery. Fear is putting faith in the wrong mystery. You don't know what's in the dark. What if it was something awesome? What if it was just a deer? What if it was a squirrel? And it probably was. Y'all, it was probably literally two birds chilling, getting food for their nest, looking at me some like terrified, like, this dude's a freaking idiot. Fear is just faith in the wrong mystery. And so many times we're afraid to make the leap. We're afraid to make the jump in any area of our lives, to make that new relationship, to make that new friendship, because we automatically always leap to, for some reason, it's so much easier to leap to, but what if this went wrong? Instead of what if this went right? What if this happened? So fear is just you placing your faith and confidence in the wrong outcome because it's dark, right? It's the next step. It's the next day. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So the answer is to not hide our head in the sands. The answer is to, by faith, start proclaiming over your life, what if this went right? And every single thought and outcome, you just start thinking, this could go right and this could go right. What if the good outcome would be this? And if that happens, I could do this. And you literally start paving a path in your life and building your mental strength and strength up again, that you're actually on the fourth one, you're breaking the routine because you're starting to create new pathways into your mind, that when even things don't go your way, you're no longer upset by that because you understand that failure is a part of the process and you're just learning. Because a lot of times, guys, you're new. When you're new in anything, you're gonna get it wrong. Guys, I'm brand new when it comes to really doing this streaming stuff. And y'all see, I've showed them on here my frustrations with lighting and cameras and stuff. And I promise you, y'all, we go get this thing right, and I'm gonna continue adding to it. But I just got to get to the point that y'all I got to do it though. You got to press past it. You got to go through the failure. You got to go through the mud. Learn that it's a part of your story It's a part of your story, you guys, that is going to be able to touch and impact people who also felt as well that they couldn't start because they weren't good enough. They didn't have all the knowledge. You're never going to start anything being good enough. The only way that you get good is by doing. Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan if he didn't hit the gym. The gym or the gym. Michael Jordan didn't become Michael Jordan. He actually got cut from his high school team. Y'all, look up any stories of any people that became great, and rarely will you find anybody that just coasted and never had any hiccups, massive bumps. Actually, you'll usually find the exact opposite. Mostly college dropouts, mostly didn't have a good family life, but they found a way, and it all started with, first of all, the belief in you over what anybody else is saying. What's in our way? Lies. We got to find the truth. Excuses. There's never going to be a right time. Arrogance. Humility is going to grant you access to what was currently not available. 4, your routine. This, you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same results. It's time to try. It's time to try a new path. It's time to try a new path. Challenge your thoughts. Shock your muscles. Push yourself to the point of failure, to the point of falling. And where it watches this. I love this. It forces you to get back up stronger. What if we started looking at failure as it's actually working for us? You just get back up. It forces you to become stronger. It forces it. Why? Because it forces you to adapt. It forces you to try different paths. It forces you, watch this, to now have to lean upon others because you were too arrogant in the beginning and you didn't never wanted to admit that you needed help because showing emotion is weak, especially for men, blah, 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 blah. My God, can we get over the American machoism and then finally learn that we need brotherhood, you need sisterhood. You got to find somebody, anybody that you can text, that you can lean upon, you can rely upon, that you can message in the midst of your busy life, whatever, that you could just say, hey, I'm going through this. Hey, I'm going through that. Like, guys, everything that we need in life to have the life that we have is attainable and accessible. Stop thinking it was just meant for the privileged few. Stop. Stop. And stop thinking that you're just going to wake up one day and it's just going to happen. It's going to happen. And it does start with your mind when you begin to daily believe. And you begin to ask God, what are the things that I have permissed that needs to be dismissed? Because that's how it started for us. What are the thoughts and the patterns, the way I think of you and the way I think of myself and the way I think of life and other people around me that I need to give the freaking boot to get literally the hell out of my house? You need to have that kind of tenacity in your life because you only get one. You only get one. And when I'm telling you, when that awakens you to when that awakens you to sobriety, that reality, it doesn't push you into fear. It launches you into faith, and you begin to say, truly, all things are possible. Because you've got to be better, right? He's got to be better than my greatest imagination. What if things went right? Fear is just faith in the wrong mystery. American author William Arthur said this about curiosity, because we need to have curiosity. Let it have and win the day sometimes. What if it went right? Curious. He described it as this: the wick and the candle of learning. Lies, excuses, arrogance, routine, negativity. LEARN. When we begin to let these things go and get them out of our way, we begin to learn. Learning shouldn't have stopped once we got out of school. For most of us, the real learning started when you got out of school. Learning isn't just memorizing facts so they can grade you and tell you if you're smart or not. That's why so many of us saw that crap, and just most millionaires and billionaires struggled in school. And there's a reason. I hate being boxed up, y'all. I'm telling you, I hate being framed in a certain way. If any of y'all know me, you will not tell me who I can be, what I can do, how I can think. That I just never saw it that way. I never saw it that way. Remove these things and we will begin to LEARN. You will begin to learn. Be constantly learning, you guys. Be constantly reading. Be constantly consuming good YouTube content. For any Christians out there, I recommend you highly right now. Go to Myron, MYRON, Golden. Subscribe, watch, binge. What if we begin to believe that our business can be his business? Listen, you're not holy because you're broke. You're not evil because you're blessed. Money is an immaterial object. We're wrapping this up, just capping it all up. It's simply an immaterial object that represents the value that we place upon something else. It's an exchange of value. I'll give you this for this amount. If you give me, it's an exchange, it's a currency, it's a moving transaction. God wants to work in us and through us more than we currently realize. We were not just saved to hide our heads in the sand until Jesus returns, so we can escape out of this hellhole. We were meant to invade darkness into every realm and every arena with every means possible. Again, I got ticked off at Harry Potter. What could we do if we had all the resources available to us? What would you learn? And I've asked people that before. Oh, I know every spell. I know everything. I said, okay. When's the last time we cracked open the Word, the Bible? We have everything at our disposal. There's silence. Because we've just been taught to be a good old boy and a good old girl, and we're just going to make it to heaven one day. There are things awaiting you, awaiting us that he's wanting us to give to have impact in your life and others right now. Right now. Yesterday. 3 weeks ago. 2 months from now. It's going to be that way. God wants to work in us and through us. He didn't just save us to hide our heads in the sand. He's not coming back for a church that's standing still, but that's co-laboring for his purposes, y'all. Ending it with this, 1 Corinthians 15:58. Therefore, my beloved brothers, be steadfast, immovable. Watch this. Always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that in the Lord, your labor is not in vain. Your work's not in vain. That's why many of us, again, are also afraid to start the business, start the thing. We don't want to go through the small. And I get it's hard. I know it. It can be hard when you're not seeing the results in anything. The gym, the relationship you keep on trying to work at. You keep on maybe stumbling over the certain things, you don't know why you're getting it. Listen, continue to go. Let the wick burn in everything you do. The author William Arthur said, curiosity is the wick in the candle of learning. It's what we don't know that's hindering us because we think we already know. We think we already know. There's always more. There's always more. And it comes to those who seek. It comes to those who ask. And it comes to those who knock. I want to pray for you guys, but we're going to wrap this thing up. Jesus, I love you. I thank you for every single person that's been on this, whether they're on it for 10 seconds or 10 minutes, or whether they're going to be on this and see it later. God, I pray that you would encourage them. I pray that you would awaken and stir the gifts that you have and the callings that you have upon them for that business, for that idea, that dream, God, that you have put within their hearts. May we break past the stumbling blocks that have kept us from it and realize that you're much better than what we currently thought, and that we are truly free indeed to see your kingdom come in whatever capacity you want to through us. I thank you for that. In Jesus' name. Thank you, guys. Hey, I love y'all, love y'all, love y'all. Probably, let's see, we're going to be going maybe the next live. I'm thinking potentially Thursday night. If it is, it's going to be late Thursday or Friday. But hey, love y'all. I'll be catching y'all on the next live. Remember to visit the place with TM, okay? .com. Okay, check out www.theplacewithtm.com. All digital products are there, guys. The 4K coaching course. Go ahead and get up on that wait list. You can again join our free community at the place, which is our free community, you guys, that we're building with many other kingdom entrepreneurs and businessmen and leaders alike. We're getting to share and build with one another. Remember, healthy community creates consistency, and we need that in our life. It creates growth, and we're building a culture over there. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next live.